Welcome to Nitro's Farm. Today I'm going to bring you for a whole weekend with us. So every morning with me starts with a cup of tea and making my daughter breakfast, and then I head out to the barn to feed the animals. First thing in the morning, I always feed the horses first, then I let the chickens out. They have food and water overnight, so I'll just top that up. And then feed the cat. She always has fresh food and water available too through the night. And then it'll be time to open the doors so the horses can go back outside. As you can see here in this video, they were already finished eating when I started recording. And when they're outside, I'll clean their stalls, and then I'll put some fresh hay in the stalls, some fresh water in their big pail outside, and then I'll turn the fans on. And they can choose, as you can see, Vinny ran in the door there. They can choose whether they want to be in the barn or outside 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with that short exception of when I'm cleaning and feeding. Now this morning I had a little chicken decide that it learned how to fly. So that means that its wing feathers have grown in fully and it's time to clip them. The reason I don't let them have their feathers is that they would just be flying out of their pen every day. And in this particular stall, I have one age of red chicks here, and I have different ages of white silky chickens on the other side of the door. So this little girl has to come down, and we're gonna have to make time to clip the feathers today. In last week's vlog, I showed you that my gardens were overrun with weeds. So this week I'll just give you a quick reminder of what the gardens looked before they were weeded. And this week I'm gonna add some mulch to the gardens. So this particular weekend I did my usual routine in the morning, feeding all the animals, putting them out. The gardens were already weeded from the week before, but we decided that this would be a good day to go out and get the mulch. My husband was off work this day and we went together. So we drove through town. Our town is really, it's cool. It looks really nice because there are a lot of historical buildings. Lots of history here, and some of the buildings are redone, but a lot of the original architecture is still there. Now, very sadly, this same town, although that first response vehicle was a fire truck, this small town is experiencing quite an opioid crisis. So you do see lots of homeless people on the streets. You'll see lots of people using drugs right out on the streets. I've seen more than one overdose. It's really sad to see. So I do carry a naloxone kit in my truck at all times for safety. And pharmacies in our area, you could always check at your local pharmacy. Our pharmacy actually has naloxone kits available for free at the counter, so ask your pharmacy. Okay, this building coming up on the right is one of my favorite in the town. It really reminds me of old Western movies. Look at it. Isn't that beautiful? And then across the street, you can see there are many murals in this town. That was a racehorse mural. They just add so much character to the town. There is a salt cave coming up, as well as a restaurant, a bakery, several other little shops that we pass along the way. So we're headed off to get mulch. The type of mulch that we'll be picking up today is one that is uncolored. So it is a natural forest fir mulch that we decided on. We first got 1.5 yards in the back of the truck here, and we quickly got home and realized how little area that covered, and came back and got 2 more yards of soil. So total 3.5 yards. That was a little more than we needed. Next year, I think we're just going to get 3 loads. But for this year, 3.5 was where we went. We were pretty hungry after a busy morning, so we did stop for a little bit of Canadian fast food. You can see here we both got onion rings. I got a tea. My husband got a pop, or soda for the Americans. He got, I believe, a buffalo chicken burger, and I got the veggie burger, of course. Everything was really good for $31. I would expect a pretty good fast food meal, but it was delicious. We got home to see that the vulture was also having its lunch. This vulture brought its meal into the driveway. So very sadly, we actually ended up having to chase it away because we did need to pull in that driveway. You could see my chicken in the background there. So I'm very thankful that the vulture just took a small bird and didn't touch our chickens who were hanging around. Typically, I'm so cheap that I don't buy mulch. This year, I decided I'm not weeding every couple of weeks. I just want to do the mulch and be able to just spot pick weeds. The only trouble that I found with doing the mulch mulch was that I dragged the mulch right to the edge of the garden, and I shouldn't have done that. So I had to go back around after I initially had laid all the mulch and just kind of sweep the edge layer back into the garden. And that helped where I had edged to pop out just a little bit better than before. We only came across one little snake while gardening, and this is the final result. All the gardens are mulched. And so hopefully this year I can spend a little bit more time in the vegetable garden, which means a little bit less time out in these front gardens weeding around plants that I don't really even look at all that much. And hopefully also give us more time to do what we love, which is going for family hikes and spending time together with other family members, which we did do on this particular weekend, and you'll see shortly in the video. So after doing the gardens, we were both really tired and we decided to go inside. I put into the blender some frozen fruit, some plain Greek yogurt, and some skim milk. And we decided to have a smoothie out on the patio together. Now, when I designed my barn, I built it so that when you're up on our patio, you can look right off the patio. We'll just cheers here, turn, and you'll be able to see the horses right in the paddock. That way we can check on them throughout the day, and also we can just enjoy them while we're having our drinks or our dinner, whatever we're having out on the patio. We can see them, make sure everything's okay, and fully enjoy watching them. Of course, Spike and Sophie are up here to say hello. And on this particular day, it was getting a little stormy looking at night, so that can really be very beautiful. Another bonus of stormy days when you live on a farm is that Mother Nature does the watering for you. So I knew that in the morning I'd be able to sleep in a little bit later, not have to water the vegetable gardens, and also rest a little easier knowing that our well is filling back up. So when you live in the country, you do really worry about water conservation. We have a shallow well, and we also have a cistern. So our well does usually go dry at the very end of every summer. And when that happens, we start paying for water. We start getting it shipped in and put into a cistern out front. And that costs us about $95 every 2 weeks. And that's with being very water conserving. So we're not a family that takes, 20 to 40 to 60-minute showers. We get in, we shower quickly, we get out. We also reuse water whenever possible. Anything that I don't use for the horses, I dump on our gardens. Things like that, just to make sure that we're conserving every way we can. Getting a deeper well is something that we've looked into a little bit. We did have one well company come and do a quote for us and show us where the new well would go, where the piping into the house would go, and things like that. We didn't really like the way that it's going to change the layout of our basement, but that is something that we're going to have to think about again in the future. For right now, we decided to back off the idea. So yeah, water can be something in the country that you really think a lot about. And so stormy weather is something that's beautiful, and it's beautiful for the pocketbook and peace of mind as well. One area of water that I do not conserve in and I do not chintz out on is water for our animals. Before having my own farm, we did keep Vinny at another facility, actually at several other facilities. And I must say that the one thing I really cannot stand with pet ownership is people that do not provide clean, fresh water every single day, if not twice a day. So our horses do have their water checked twice a day and cleaned once a day with a scrub brush and soap. If you wouldn't drink it, why should they? We waited until evening to trim the chicks' feathers, and the reason we did that is that in the evening the chicks all come in for the night, and I do close their door to outside to prevent predators from getting them overnight. So what you have to do is just cut the ends of the feathers off on both sides like I've done here. It doesn't hurt the chickens. They're a bit fidgety just because they aren't all that used to being held and having the wing pulled out. But this does not hurt them. It's just a way to keep them safe, keep them from flying out of the pen. We have actually never lost a chicken to predators yet anyway. The only free-ranging birds that we do have on our property are 2 roosters. So you've probably all heard of Tweety and Sina if you're already subscribed to the channel. And those are some extra roosters that we had. And so we don't have a hen flock for them. The 2 of them just free range. Because they're both roosters, we do take a chance having them out. Because roosters tend to be a bit more feisty. They do have big spurs that they can defend themselves with on their legs. So it's a little bit less risky, but not fully foolproof. It is taking a chance, and that's something we're willing to do. A lot of farms actually don't keep roosters. They will just call any rooster that's born on the property. But we do like to keep ours. We don't call anything unless it's very sick or obviously needs help going to the other side. So that's our choice, and we're quite comfortable with that. There are lots of pros and cons to clipping feathers, and I can cover that in another video, but not for today. Today we're going to move on to my daughter's activities for the weekend. So here she's heading home from a long game of soccer. They practice and play both in the same day, as she is only 6 years old. But she really likes it. I would say that she likes the practice more than the game. I think because she gets to chit-chat with her friends during practice more than during the game part. I also tend to think that the weekly snack that they have at the end of the games is the other reason that kids love going to soccer. It's cute how that works out. So now we're driving from soccer straight to swimming lessons. We do live in an area that has a bridge, a lift bridge, I should say. So this bridge was just going down as we approached. We only had to sit here about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we arrived at swimming, where they have a new piano out front this week. So Minnie doesn't play piano. She's actually not in music of any type yet. I don't know if that's something that she'll do in the future, but she sure was curious about the piano. And I said, give it a shot. So she was pretty shy at first, but then she did touch the keys a little bit. You can see the Canada geese on the front of the piano there, very Canadian. And we live in a part of Canada that is between the 5 Great Lakes, so that's why swimming lessons are so important for kids in our area. You're around water a lot of the time in this part of Ontario, Canada. So Minnie has already progressed to level 4 in her swimming. She's very proud of herself. The building we go to is beautiful, modern, it's pretty new. And the coaches are amazing there. They're so patient. We really couldn't ask for anything better, unless it was a little closer to home. But again, living rurally, you have to expect that. Now for Minnie's absolute favorite part of swimming, the hot dog after. Yes, we have hot dogs at home, but Minnie insists that these are so much better and that she has to have one. After soccer and swimming, we went home, we had a little rest, and then we decided that it was such a beautiful day we had to get out for a hike. So my husband, my daughter, and I packed a bag full of snacks, full of drinks, and went on our way. This is a beautiful provincial park that we came to. The parking lot did look busy, but there really weren't that many hikers that we came across. Oh, this is for Kevin, an old man bench. Hiking with Jackie boy. We had only been hiking for about 1 minute when we reached this bench shortly down the trail. And so I didn't want to stop quite yet. Break? Are you an old man? At the beginning of the trail, we walked right past the sign with the maps. We've been to this park many times before. It's been quite a few years actually since we've come here, but we've walked this trail in our younger years many times. So we didn't take a picture of the map, nor did we look at it. We decided to take the yellow trail. Now, without looking at the map, we had hoped to go for a walk that was about 20 to 30 minutes long at a brisk pace, but that was our goal. Just before we had left for our hike, my parents stopped by our house with their dog Indy. He's a puppy, he's under a year old. So the 3 dogs got quite a bit of playtime in and were exhausted by the time my parents left with Indy. And that's why we didn't bring either dog along for the walk on this day. You'll see shortly why we were very thankful that we didn't bring the dogs and probably shouldn't have brought Minnie on this walk.
I was eating these on the truck.
So the workers took a bite and put it in your box? You can't litter.
My raccoons will find it. And plus, horses crapped right.
They did. Are you supposed to say crap?
You always say it.
Do you love hiking?
No.
Look at him. Look at Daddy. Without any idea of how much further walk we had ahead of us, we got back on the trail, and we didn't have any idea that we would be out here for as long as we were. Although we had only planned for a short hike, we did bring a bunch of snacks and a bunch of drinks, and we're really lucky that we did because this hike ended up taking way longer than we could have expected. So long, in fact, that I can't believe that Minnie managed to carry on for the whole hike. Whoa, this is deadly.
Whoa, jeez, I didn't even see there was no railing here. I thought there was railings there, so there was one on this side.
We came across this really cool mushroom that really reminded me of a channel that we follow, Wild Edibles. She loves foraging for all types of food, but she's really a mushroom expert. I would never eat a mushroom from the wild because I just have no knowledge on that subject, but she has vast knowledge of what is edible and what is dangerous. So that reminded us of her.
There's all kinds of them.
It's much harder to see on video, but these trails were really steep, both up and downhill. And we were so exhausted at this point. I was so out of breath at this point that I really wasn't sure that I could continue on. But we did. Somehow we did. And along the path, there were really tons of wild raspberries. And I, of course, was thinking about wild edibles again when we noticed these wild raspberries.
Mama, get off quick.
Okay.
Yeah!
This hill really just about did me in, as you can hear by my breathing. This is terrible. It's like this hike's been uphill the whole time. Should I call the orange air?
Yeah.
Now, for people that are nature smart, yes, my husband did have a tick on him after laying on the ground like that. So don't do that. Fortunately, we were wearing lots of bug spray and Minnie didn't have any ticks on her.
See that? It's wobbly, that's why.
Okay, let's get a picture right here.
If I sit on the rock here.
Aww.
You sit on my lap?
At last, we've reached the reason we came for this hike. Although there isn't much water at the bottom, this waterfall is absolutely beautiful.
careful on the slippery ones.
Here we're at the top of the waterfall. We were really careful, and my husband held my daughter's hand most of the time. It can be so slippery and pretty scary up here.
Nice. Here, we can sit down with one here. The water? Here, sit down with me.
It's actually very good water.
We're sitting at a waterfall. We're on top of the waterfall.
Across the way, that's the platform that we were standing on when we got that first picture of the falls.
Okay, let's take a family picture here.
The total distance that we shockingly traveled to reach this fall was 6.2 kilometers, and it took us over 2.5 hours.
That's slippery. Yeah, we can go right up the fall. This is so cool. Look at that, eh? We went from the bottom all the way up the waterfall. No other kids done that, I bet.
Despite having had a long play date with their cousin Indy, Spike and Sophie were so happy to see us back home. And after a little visit with the dogs, we made some more smoothies. Minnie didn't want one, so it was just the two of us having one. And we relaxed on the deck. Again, being able to watch the horses, have the dogs right with us, and be outside but able to sit down and just rest. And we've been reminded, of course, that on future hikes, we're going to look at the map and make a plan before we start our hike. After this absolutely beautiful sunset, we decided there was just one more thing left to do this weekend, and that was to take Sophie for an ice cream. She loves going for truck rides. She can't get enough of them. As soon as you open the front door, she actually runs out the door and straight to my husband's truck. He's the one that usually takes her for rides. So here we are waiting in line at Dairy Queen. And although Dairy Queen is extremely expensive, they at least did give Sophie a free pup cup, so that was really nice of them. And Sophie loves ice cream, so of course she enjoyed her pup cup completely. Thanks for coming along for a weekend on the farm and off the farm with us. If you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. We do have a list of family farm vlogs available too, so check that out if you're interested. And we hope to see you on the next video as well. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.